Nobody is coming to save you. Hi, my name is Bright. I am a random human being on the interwebs, and um, this is my first video on my channel. I've never really made anything at all in regards to like content creation, and so this is my first time doing anything like that. Actually, it's not my first time doing anything like this. I've made a couple channels and tried to post different videos before, and it's just been very hard for me. The context of this story is just, well, nobody's going to save you. No one's coming here to save you. And I made this when it comes to life and your world and the way you want to get in the future, what you want to be in the future, how you handle things, is that nobody's coming to save you. When I was a kid, I had a problem. I had a couple of issues that were really bad. Particularly, I had this one issue where I was just afraid to be alone. I was afraid to be by myself. I was afraid to have to. I was afraid of the thought that one day I may wake up and I won't have a partner, or I will just be incredibly lonely. I won't have any friends, and I just be me and my thoughts. And to me, that's kind of like the worst state ever to be in, where there's no one around you. And it really got really it got really bad because it was that, and then I had other problems that were adding to it, but with family, personally, mentally, and physically, that were adding to, like, oh, I want to do everything in my power to not be alone. So I would attract people who weren't necessarily good for me, and I wasn't good for them either. I'm a very interesting person. Let's just say that. I'm very, very interesting. Those people, I was just like, they were not good for me, and I kind of just let them be in my life for a while, actually a very long time. And so I got used to having people who weren't necessarily good for me in my life. And I moved here recently. I moved to Texas recently. And when I moved to Texas, I had lost all those friends, the good and the bad ones. And I was all alone. And it was the first time like it truly hit me that I was alone, and I genuinely like broke down. Like even as a man, as a person, I just broke down. I was having the worst time. Because I had goals. It's not that I don't have goals or anything. Like, I have goals in my life besides just not wanting to be alone. I have goals and things that I want to work on. But every time I would try to work on something, I would always like quit. No, I wouldn't quit, but I would stop because I'd be like, wait, what about my own personal mental health? How would I sustain it in the long run when my mental health was kind of shit? That's when I realized that, hey, I'm not okay. I started realizing that I am not mentally okay. I'm not. In my head, I like to believe I am, but I'm really not. I'm not okay in that sense at all. And I was alone. I had friends. Those friends I didn't necessarily consider friends, because there's like a certain echelon, there's a certain level that you have to reach with me to be like my friend, like to be like a person I would genuinely talk to on a consistent basis. And for this area that I am in, I think I only have like two or three of those now, after I've worked a little bit for a while. People here kind of suck. Um, but yeah, it was just very difficult for me because like that was my worst fear ever, just being alone. And it was happening, and I was freaking out genuinely. And I guess the reason why is because I was expecting something to change without me doing anything. You know what I mean? I was expecting someone to just swoop in, just find my person, and like it'll fill that hole in my heart. You know what I mean? But that never happened, and it was very difficult for me to wrap my head around that. It's like, this will never happen. Then I watched this video. I think it was by Kidology. It was about how like men are lost in this world or whatever. And she said a thing. She said something in the video that I really took to heart, is that nobody was coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. No one's coming to save me from my problems. No one's coming to save you from your problems. You're going to have problems, and you're going to have to learn how to deal with them on your own. And that was kind of like, that's what I needed to hear, actually. It's not what I wanted to hear, but it's what I needed to hear at that time. And even now, it's like, nobody's coming to save me. If I want to do something, I have to do it on my own. I have to try to pull myself together. And even though it's hard, I have to at least keep that mentality that nobody's going to come in and just magically fix all my problems. Everybody wants that. Everybody feels like they're, I don't say entitled, but like everyone feels like they want that someone, even if it's like subconsciously, you want somebody to come and help you, cradle you, and fix all your problems. But, and I'm not no motivational speaker, but yeah, nobody's coming to save you. The same way that nobody's coming to save me. So my loneliness, no one's gonna come save me from it. No one's going to come stop the hole in my heart. I will have it for as long as I want to have it, as long as I don't fix the problem. And how to fix the problem is kind of just being okay with that. Be okay with the fact that nobody's coming to save you. It hurts, yes, that nobody cares enough, or no one, but everyone has their own problems. Yes, certain people care about you, but they also have their own problems as human beings. And so you have to be okay with the fact that you have your own problems as a human being, and that nobody's coming to save you from them. Nobody at all. It's okay to indulge in certain things. Like, I want to have a relationship. I want to not feel alone, but it's okay to be alone. It's okay, because that person's not going to fill me. I have to fill myself. Pause. I guess that what I'm trying to say is that in every instance in life, in every facet of life, in every form of thought, wave of thought in life, that you have to be okay with the fact that nobody's coming to stop you from having those problems. You're going to have those problems, and it's going to be up to you to figure out how to stop those problems. And the crazy thing is that with the advent of the internet, you know how to solve those problems. Or at least you know how to get to know how to solve those problems. And so it's up to you to choose what problems you want to have. And some of those solutions to those problems is simply just accept it. Just accept it. Sometimes you just have to accept that's how it is. Like, I'm going to be alone for at least a while. Maybe not forever, right? But for at least a while, I'll be alone. And I have to be perfectly fine with being alone by myself. I have to be perfectly fine with knowing that my thoughts are going to be always there with me 100% all the time. I'm going to have to be okay with the fact that I may not be the person for somebody else. I may not be the right height or meet the right requirements for somebody. I'm 6'3", by the way. I just have to be okay with the fact that I may not be somebody else's person. And that's all right, you know? I'm obviously going to find somebody, you know what I mean? It's not I'm going to be like by myself forever, right? Like there's already half the fucking human population to choose from. Well, they're going to have to choose me too, but you know what I mean? It's okay. And it's perfectly fine. And so you don't have to worry too much about the being alone parts. Now, how do I want to live my life? Well, I have certain problems in my life. Well, no one's going to come save me from those problems. How do I fix the problems? Go start something. Or, I don't know, if you're not really the business, money, cash, money, financial stability type person, you want to be the more outdoorsy, I jump off cliffs for a living type person, go ahead. Go jump off of cliff. Not like suicidally though, like, you know, hang gliders and paragliders and the people who like skydiving. Yeah, those people. I'm talking to y'all. If you like doing those things, go do those things. It's okay to be like, oh yeah, this really sucks, you know? But you have to change it. You have the power to change that. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes genuinely you don't. Like you have like age requirements, like by law or something like that. But there's always a way around it. You know what I mean? Like even YouTube, this YouTube thing that I'm doing is a way for me to at least try to alleviate some of the financial problems that I have, and also emotional problems that I have, and mental problems that I have. Because I'll say something, right, and it'll be recorded, and then I can look back on it and be like, hey, I said that, and it was stupid, or funny or not, you know. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I want to do with my first video, at least rants. This is completely unscripted, so this my first video is unscripted. I want to rant. I want to talk about how life is shitty and you should be okay with that in the most motivational way possible. At least something, I don't know. Nobody's coming to save you, and that is okay. Bye bye, monkeys.